Let's bring in CNBC contributor, Trivariate's Adam Parker. I mean, it has been sort of an exciting AI cycle, and this today goes down as one of the highlights, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we're big, first mega cap company, biggest upward sales revision ever was May 23 with NVIDIA, right? And so we're 2 years and 4 or 5 months into what is going to be a decade-long trend, and you're going to continue to see, I think last week Scott was in a dour mood and asked me if the AI trade was over because we had one down day, and I had to say no.
Right.
I mean,
So you were right.
No, I'm just saying we always, we do that to each other. But, I think we're really early phases. So if you run an equity book against the S&P 500, by the way, you like how we talk about him when he's not here, so it's perfect. But I think we're going to be at cyclical, but much higher as we go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You have to own AI exposure in an equity book versus the S&P 500.
Yes, but this is sort of a surprise AI equity exposure play, Oracle. I know it's had some momentum here, but it seems like their cloud infrastructure AI play was underestimated.
For sure, and I think they probably have some healthcare stuff underneath there that's underestimated as well. And they did that Cerner deal a few years back. And so it's not just 5 names. I think the challenge will be, and it always comes up even when you summarize that story, is like at what point will investors be concerned about return on the capital spending, and when will that kind of weigh on equities, and how will we transition from the obvious beneficiaries to the productivity beneficiaries who are still more on the come, second half 26 and 27. And that'll happen, but I don't think we're there yet, and I think you have to own a bunch of tech in your book, and I'm really not that surprised. I mean, the reaction itself is obviously big, but I'm not surprised you're going to see upward trends for a lot of these exposed
Broadcom's up 8% off this news. Some of the AI players, NVIDIA up sharply, AMD, it all makes sense to you?
Look, we wrote, again, a few weeks ago, our North Star, we called it, is to own semis over software as a general rule. I mean, Oracle's a bit of a combo, but I just think semis compute, if you want to call it that, grew for 30-plus years at 2% above GDP. It's going to grow 5, 6, 7% above GDP from 2 years ago until 5, 6, 7 years from now, and that growth is going to be at higher gross margin than it was historically because a lot of the businesses just, they don't make the chips themselves anymore. They outsource. So do I want exposure to a business growing that fast above GDP? I think so. It doesn't mean we won't have some 20 or 30% corrections on that
I guess
path,
it's at what valuation and until what point?
I don't think valuation really matters a ton for security selection. In fact, I think it mostly helps people lose money. I think what matters is accelerating revenue growth, margin expansion, beating expectations, and I think as you see, there's still a lot of upside potential. And that backlog number from Oracle is just massive, right? Like they're telling you, and look at what Jensen said at NVIDIA, right? He started saying, I think we're what $600 billion in global data center capex now. I think he said we're going to have $1 trillion in 2028. Then he took it to 2027, and then people were saying, well, maybe there's $3 to $4 trillion in 2030. So you want to talk about valuation? How about something that's growing from $600 billion to $3 trillion in the next 6 or 7 years? Like, do you want to short that as an exposure? Not really, right? You want exposure to that. So my view is this is a party. It's pretty fun, but it's like 8, 9 p.m. Like you still want to go to the party and have a good time.
And own all Broadcom, NVIDIA, Amazon, all the hyperscalers that are in this party.
I think there's a lot of semis down the stack you can own too. I mean, I don't see how the world can function without KLAC, Lam, AMAT, ASML. I don't see that can function without Cadence and Synopsys. I think there'll be things in there that, obviously Taiwan Semi, which is probably the most important asset on earth. I mean, there's a ton of things as you look down the road that are just going to continue to be cyclical, going upward slope for some time. So, yeah, if I run an equity book and U.S. exposure is part of what I do, then, yeah, I'm going to own a lot of semis over the medium and long term to continue.
You mentioned Synopsys. It's down.